welcome back to my channel. Thank y'all so much for being here. I really appreciate it as always. Today we're going to be doing something super YouTube old school, and that is the 50 facts about me tag or challenge or something like that. It takes a lot of time. I've been trying to write down stuff for the last, I want to say, month. Some things that are like interesting that's going to kind of draw you in, not super boring, like I like to drink Pepsi. My favorite food is broccoli, you know, things like that. I didn't want to be like super cliche with it, if you know what I'm saying. I wanted to kind of dive in, getting down to the nitty gritty, you know, like the girth of things. And that's something that I like. I like watching videos with people who are like super open about things. Like I've said before, people are like onions, and I like to kind of dive in and get to know the nitty gritty about people. That's what makes people interesting. Nobody likes perfection. I am not perfect. You're not perfect. Nobody is perfect. And I think that's what makes people beautiful. Like the little imperfections, the little things that make people tick. And that's just something that I find super interesting about others. And I hope y'all do as well. Okay, so let's get started. I have lots of notes, pages and pages and pages of notes. And so that's what I'm going to go by. So if you see me look down a couple of times, that's why. So the first fact about me is, hold on to your seat. I wish I had Tina Turner's legs. Okay. She had in the 80s and the 90s the best legs, the most beautiful legs. The way she would like sashay in her videos, you know, what's love got to do it. Number 2, I am the only child. I was a bitch ass kid. I was a terrible teenager. It took a lot for me to occupy my mind, and I got in a lot of trouble whenever I was a kid. So yeah, I'm the only child, and I was the bane of my parents' existence, and I'm a lot better now. Fun fact number 3, as a kid, there was nothing but boys in my neighborhood, and I was about 7 years old. We were playing in my yard, and I accidentally knocked out a neighborhood boy's 2 front teeth with my head. So it wasn't funny at the time, but I pretended to cry. It didn't hurt me at all, but it hurt him pretty bad. And so I cried because I thought I was supposed to cry. Let me show you a video. Every day, it doesn't matter what day, every day of my life, I wake up in the morning with a different song in my head. Every single day. It doesn't matter what the circumstances, if I got a lot of sleep, if I didn't. And I've been trying to make a note to write them down because it's kind of fun. You know, like one morning I wake up with Achy Breaky Heart in my head. This morning I woke up with Tootsie Roll. Sweet as gold. Let me see that song. In the early 90s, when like facial piercing and body piercing became popular, I decided one day that I wanted to pierce my own belly button. And so I did. I did it with a safety pin. I did it in the bathroom. I was 12 years old. And then whenever I was 15, I wanted a tattoo. So I tattooed myself, and I tattooed my 3 friends with regular ink. So it didn't end up lasting. But I tattooed 69 on our ankles. Whenever I was 16, I wanted to be an aerobics instructor whenever I grew up.
Come on, find your pelvis. I know you've got one, and it's okay to move it, for heaven's sake. Say yes, yes, sure, of course, you bet.
I am a true Capricorn. I am super organized. I organize everything. I organize my vitamins. I organize my medicines. I organize socks. I organize everything. I have to have it the way that I want it, or it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm super fun at parties. Whenever I walk, I have to walk to a beat. So if I have like a song in my head, I'm walking to that beat every single time. If I'm walking on a treadmill and it's going, nyeh, 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 I'm walking to that beat. It doesn't matter. So Saturday Night Fever in my head, I mean, I'm like John Travolta walking down the street. Well, you can tell by the way I use my walk, I'm a woman's man. No time to have 2 teenage daughters. One is 18 and the other is 14. I had my first child whenever I was 20 years old. I got pregnant at 19, had her at 20, and yeah, I was a very early bloomer, an early birth giver. In the 80s, my like celebrity crushes were Patrick Swayze, Gilbert Blythe, if you know who I'm talking about, high five to you, Corey Haim, and Raphael from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like I said before, I was a very bad kid. I smoked my first cigarette at 11. I was addicted at 15, and I quit smoking cigarettes at 29. I got my first real tattoo whenever I was 17, and about 6 months later, my mom saw it when we were out and about. I was wearing like a halter top or something like that, and she saw it, and I had it lasered off whenever I was 18. I was a super cliche rave chick. Whenever I was like 16, 17, 18, I would wear like the crop top, the Jinko jeans, the glow stick, pacifiers. I would go to raves in New Orleans all the time. Since I'm the only child, I really enjoy my own company. I like spending time with myself. I can sit in a room in my own thoughts and be completely calm and fine. I don't need a lot of people around me at all times. I'm okay with being alone, and I like to solve problems on my own. My first car was a 1990 Eagle Talon. It was navy blue. It had the like pop-up headlights. It was a 5-speed transmission, like stick shift, and I loved that car. Oh, and my car's name was Sheila E. So I am married. I've been married for almost 20 years. He is also the only child. So, I mean, we like want to kick each other's ass all the time.
When I watch you eat, when I see you asleep, when I look at you lately, I just want to smash your face in.
Come on, smash my face. Come on, you want to smash my face?
I'm going to read this one out of my notebook because it's kind of long. I have an admiration for deep thinkers, leaders, problem solvers, and people who can think outside of the box. I do not like herd mentality, hive mentality. I cannot stand the idea of feeling like you have to keep up with the Joneses. It kind of reminds me of the Edward Scissorhands movie where, you know, the subdivisions are all, the houses are all the same. There might be a little bit of a different color, but they're all the same. And on that topic, the terms shook, shooketh, high key, low key, that type of thing that you see on YouTube all the time, I don't like that at all. Okay, the next one, before my head pops off. I love to swim. I love being underwater and hearing all the muffled sounds. It just makes me feel good. It makes me feel free, even if I'm sitting in a bathtub or an ocean or a swimming pool or a pond. I love the way the muffled sounds sound. I love that, just like peaceful and calm, and it's almost like an echo. You can hear like things swimming in the water, and you can movement, and I just love that. My 90s celebrity crushes were Eddie Vedder, Kirk Cameron, Trent Reznor, and Zach Morris. Being a mother is the single most gratifying accomplishment that I have ever done. It's like the only thing that I feel like I've ever done right in my life. And I feel like that I was born to be a mom. I was not popular in high school whatsoever, especially not middle school, but definitely not in high school. I never felt like I belonged in any of the like cliques that they had. I never felt like I fit in, and maybe that's something that everybody goes through, but I just didn't, there was no one I could just like rely on to tell my problems to. Up until 2016, I had 4 jobs. I wrote for my own website, so I have a blog, youhappybeauty.com. I also wrote for a local newspaper. I had a beauty column called Ask Mandy, which Mandy is my name. And I also wrote their recipes. So I wrote all the recipes for the newspaper. I also was a freelance makeup artist for Lancome. And I was a makeup artist, like for myself. So I would like freelance myself out. I do miss writing for a newspaper. That was one of the most rewarding things that I feel like I've ever done, as far as job wise goes. The newspaper, after 2016, the newspaper closed down. The owner moved to North Carolina because the area in South Louisiana had a big like natural disaster. So they closed down and I wasn't able to do it anymore. But that was a awesome job. Since I'm from South Louisiana, I was born not very far from New Orleans. So I'd spent a lot of time in New Orleans. We lived like directly smack dab in the middle between Baton Rouge and New Orleans. I love New Orleans. New Orleans is one of my favorite places. It's just kind of a spooky city. It's nothing like it in the world. That's what I wrote down. The food, the culture, the atmosphere, the street performers are unbelievable. Like the talent that New Orleans people have, just the street performers, is unmatched. Like you can't go and buy an album and see the same amount of talent that you can find on the streets in New Orleans. Particularly, and I'm just going to say this, particularly Doreen Kinchins. She is the most amazing clarinet player, and I just bought a painting that was done of her. I'm going to include a clip of just some of her stuff. She is unreal. So if you ever go to New Orleans, seek out, stalk, I don't care what you got to do, go see Doreen Kinchins. I am absolutely petrified of cockroaches, like the big wood roaches. You know, I'm from South Louisiana. We got some swamps. We got some, like, it's humid and hot weather, and they produce the most ginormous freaking roaches. I'm talking about like huge roaches. Maybe it's because they fly. I don't know. But they're just the nastiest, just most disgusting insect on the face of the earth, and I hate them. I find myself to be an excellent cook. I can cook just about anything in the world and make it taste really good, but I can't boil a freaking egg. So this is another long one, so I'm going to hold up my little notebook here. My favorite music is Europop, like 1980s Europop. And my favorite bands are Flock of Seagulls, Cars, Aha, Tears for Fears. But I also like Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings. I love the blues. Tina Turner, she's just like... Also like 60s music, like that were popular at Woodstock, the Mamas and the Papas, Buffalo Springfield, and Moody Blues. And that's just to name a few. My love of music just spans far and wide. And this is where we're going to get to the giveaway questions. That's right. So let me go to my giveaway questions real quick. Where are you? Okay. Giveaway question number 1. Name 3 of your favorite TV shows, either past or current. Number 2, name 3 of your favorite foods. Number 3, what is your first car, or what was your first car? Number 4, what is your zodiac sign? And do you find yourself to be like that zodiac sign, if you even follow it at all? And number 5, what was your favorite toy as a kid? Okay, so the next one is, I always try to see the best in people. A friendly smile, a funny laugh, oddities, quirks, flaws, that shit makes me happy. That's what I wrote down. Weirdness is beautiful, flawless is fake, and damn it if that's not the truth. I hardly ever drink alcohol. I do from time to time. I'll drink like 1 beer. If I have 2 beers, look, I'm a cheap drunk. If I have 2 beers, like I am like I'm just going crazy. So yeah, I love gin and tonics. I love cocktails. I love drinking wine, but I don't do it very often. 1, because it makes me fat. And then 2, because it makes me absolutely crazy. So I get a little wild when I drink, or I get sleepy. And, you know, nobody likes a sleepy drunk. My bucket list is super, super simple. I don't want to go skydiving. I don't want, you know, like the cliche things. I like the simple things, like camping in the mountains, seeing the Milky Way on a super clear night, swimming in a creek that I find while hiking, watching the leaves change. Oh, seeing a countryside, like seeing the United States from a train. I've always wanted to ride in a train and just go across the country. I think that would be super awesome, and see like the things that are like the part of the United States that is untouched. You see wildlife. That's the kind of things that I would like to do before I die. I was born and raised in South Louisiana. It is total Cajun country, and that is like the root of who I am. I think that Cajuns are a super special breed of people. I love them to death. They have just a simple way of thinking. You know, like catching crawfish in a swamp, white rubber boots, fishing for crabs in the Gulf of Mexico, eating fried alligator po' boys. Those are the things, simple things, that I enjoy about being a Cajun. Those are just kind of like on the surface of things, but that's things that I love. This is another long one, so I'm gonna read it from my book. My favorite movies are all movies of John Hughes, like 16 Candles, Weird Science, Pretty in Pink, but I also love Back to the Future, all 3 of them. So the first, second, and third, I love them all. Peggy Sue Got Married, Gone with the Wind, Funny Girl, Who's That Girl with Madonna. Even though I don't like Madonna, I like that movie. My Fair Lady with Audrey Hepburn, Little Shop of Horrors. Those are my type of movies. I just love those movies. I have wanted a pig forever. Ever since I was like 15 years old, I wanted to have a potbelly pig. And for my husband and I's 15th wedding anniversary, we finally got one. So his name is Amos. I have a whole video like designated to him, kind of not answering questions about him, but just like letting you know things about him. So yeah, he was supposed to be a teacup or like a mini pig or mini potbelly pig, but he's 400 pounds. He lives in the house. He's potty trained though, so he goes outside. But yeah, he's 400 pounds, at least 400 pounds. And he is my absolute baby. I love him so much. My oldest daughter is a short little mini person. I say mini. She's only like 5'2". But my youngest daughter is 6'1". I was a strict vegetarian for 9 years, up until 2016 when we lost our home in a flood. When we evacuated the house, the first thing that we had was hot dogs. And let me tell you, after not having meat for 9 years, that was the best damn hot dog I have ever eaten in my life. My favorite TV shows growing up: Gummy Bears, Golden Girls, Family Matters, In Living Color, Three Stooges, and Anne of Green Gables. I love to fish even when I'm not catching anything. I love alligators. I think they are a beautiful, beautiful species. I think alligators are super, super cool, and actually they're quite docile. People are always afraid of them, but they only get dangerous when you start feeding them. So if you feed them every day, then they become dangerous. But until that time, they're not dangerous, and you can swim with them. You can't touch them. They're actually more afraid of you than you are of them. My favorite villain of all time is Yosemite Sam.
Great horny toads, a trespasser, getting footy prints all over my desert. Yeah, mule, yeah. Whoa, camel, whoa, camel, whoa. Come on, whoa. When I say whoa, I mean whoa.
My favorite actors and actresses are Kathleen Turner, Eartha Kitt, Forrest Whitaker, and Anthony Hopkins. Those are 4 people that if they make a movie, I'm going to watch it. I don't care. Kathleen Turner movies are probably some of my favorite. I love her movies 100%. I am a 7th generation first daughter. My daughter is the 8th first daughter. And that means that every generation for the last 8 generations, every child that was born, the first child has been a daughter. So I have a picture, I'll include it on here. But this is the picture of my great-grandmother, my grandmother, my mom, me, and my daughter. There was 2 more generations before that. So, yeah. Oh, and we were all part of the DAR, or Daughters of the American Revolution. Look what my daughter just sent me. It's her drawing. Having arms, not having arms. She's a nut. They look like legs. Oh, there she is. I drew that. Haha. I've had 4 piercings, besides my earlobes, of course. I've had my tongue pierced twice. I had an industrial piercing. That's whenever the bar goes from like here to here. I had my belly button pierced, and I had my septum pierced. So, yeah. My parents are still married. They've been married for 46 years. My dad worked as a pipe fitter for an industrial plant, and my mom was a secretary for the state of Louisiana. Spicy potato chips are like my absolute, I love them so much, especially Zapp's crawtators. If you have the opportunity to buy Zapp's crawtators, jump on that because they are so good. They like pump my blood. I just have to have them.
Ooh, it's gonna be so spicy. We gonna have to time up to Uncle Orville's airboat and drag his bare, lily white butt across the swamp to put out that ass fire.
I started my first job whenever I was 15 years old, and that was working in a deli. It was the grossest job ever, and ever since that day, I never stepped foot in that grocery store. Not one time. They would keep like lunch meat out all night long, so flies would get on it. Ugh. My top 5 prized possessions whenever I was a kid was a big wheel.
Now let me get on the bike. Get on the back. No, get on the front. Okay. And I get on the back. Yeah, you get on the back when I take off.
A She-Ra Crystal Castle, which broke whenever I opened up for Santa Claus.
That's a flag. This is Crystal Castle.
The Care Bear record in Adventures in Care-a-Lot, and Garbage Pail Kids, like the Garbage Pail Kids cards, Series 1. Those were my prized possessions, and a Light Bright. I had the best time playing with the Light Bright. Do y'all remember Light Bright? Because that was like the commercials. Do you remember the commercials? I still remember that song.
Light bright, turn on the magic of shining lights.
So that's going to do it for this 50 Facts About Me video. I hope y'all found it interesting and informative. At the very least, you get to know a little bit more about who I am as a person. And also, don't forget about the giveaway questions that can be found somewhere in this video. You get to win a lot of stuff. So thank y'all so much for watching. I look forward to seeing y'all very, very soon. Bye!